Every single day, Jesus is gently knocking on the door of your heart, reaching out to you with patience and love. Yet, in the rush of life, with all its noise and distractions, many of us fail to notice that quiet knock. We get so busy chasing our own plans, worries, and desires that we overlook the most important invitation of all, the call to a deeper, more meaningful life. But this knock isn't just any sound, it's an opportunity. It's Jesus inviting you to step into a life full of hope, peace, and purpose. Think about what it truly means to listen to that knock. Jesus isn't forcing his way in. He's waiting respectfully for you to open the door. That knock is a choice, your choice, to let go of past mistakes, regrets, and burdens that weigh you down. It's an invitation to receive forgiveness, healing, and a fresh start. When you open that door, you're not just allowing Jesus in, you're allowing light into the darkest corners of your life. Too often, we tell ourselves there will be time later, that we can respond to this call when life feels easier or when we are ready. But what if that moment never comes? What if this knock is the most important moment you will ever face? Ignoring it means missing out on the joy, peace, and fulfillment that only Jesus can bring. Jesus understands your fears, your pain, and the struggles hidden deep within your heart. He knows your flaws, yet his knock never ceases. He invites you despite your imperfections because his love is unconditional. You don't have to clean up your life before opening that door. Jesus meets us exactly where we are. Opening your heart to Jesus is the beginning of a journey that transforms your mind, renews your spirit, and gives you strength to face any challenge. It leads to a life filled with purpose beyond what you could imagine. Choosing to ignore the knock, however, is choosing to live without the fullness of that abundant life. So today, listen carefully for that knock. It is real, it is personal, and it is filled with hope. Will you open the door? Will you accept the invitation to experience a love that never fails and a peace that never ends? The choice is yours, and it could change everything. It's a question that has puzzled many. Why do we keep ignoring the knock? Why do so many turn away when Jesus reaches out, inviting us into a life filled with meaning and peace? The answer lies deep within human nature. Often, we avoid what makes us uncomfortable or demands change. We get distracted by the noise of daily life, caught up in work, worries, and endless entertainment, convincing ourselves that there's always time later to respond. But later can slip away faster than we realize. Fear is one of the biggest reasons we ignore Jesus' call. Fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of having to change the way we live, or fear of facing our own shortcomings. We think we must be perfect or have it all figured out before we can accept him. But the truth is the opposite. Jesus doesn't call the perfect. He calls the willing. He sees your brokenness and still reaches out his hand, ready to lift you up. Sometimes, shame and guilt hold us back. We carry the weight of past mistakes, thinking we are unworthy of love or forgiveness. This shame creates a barrier that convinces us the door should stay closed. But Jesus' knock is a promise that no sin is too great, no past too dark. His love is greater than any failure or regret. Doubt also clouds our hearts. We question if Jesus is real, if he truly cares, or if life would really change if we opened that door. This skepticism can create a wall between us and the hope Jesus offers. Yet, even in doubt, the knock continues, patiently inviting us to take one step closer. Understanding these barriers helps us see that ignoring Jesus isn't just about neglect, it's about wrestling with fear, shame, and doubt. But the good news is that none of these have the final say. Jesus stands ready to break down every wall, every hesitation. He waits with open arms, not to condemn, but to heal, restore, and guide. No matter what holds you back today, know this: Jesus' knock is for you. He knows your struggles, your fears, and your questions. And he is ready to walk with you through every step if you only open the door. It's never too late to answer that call, to overcome the barriers, and to begin a new journey toward freedom and hope. When we choose to ignore the knock at our door, we are not just turning away from a momentary opportunity, we are missing out on the very thing that gives life its deepest meaning. Ignoring Jesus' call means living without the peace and purpose that so many long for but cannot find anywhere else. It means settling for a life that feels empty, restless, and incomplete. The cost of ignoring this invitation is far greater than most realize. Without opening that door, the burdens of guilt, fear, and loneliness grow heavier. The struggles of life become more overwhelming because we face them alone. The quiet voice inside that longs for true connection and hope remains unheard, leaving us with a sense of emptiness that no worldly success or distraction can fill. There is also an eternal cost to consider a separation from the source of all love, light, and life. Jesus came to bring fullness of life, not just here but forever. When we reject his invitation, we close ourselves off to the joy and peace that transcend this world's temporary struggles. We choose isolation over community, despair over hope, and uncertainty over the assurance that comes from knowing we are deeply loved and valued. Many who ignore the knock find themselves searching endlessly for satisfaction in possessions, achievements, relationships, only to discover that none of these can truly satisfy the soul. The door to true fulfillment remains closed because the only one who can fill that void is the one knocking outside. But the good news is that Jesus never stops knocking. Even when we turn away, he continues to wait patiently, longing for us to open that door. He doesn't force entry, but offers grace and forgiveness to all who are willing. So, ask yourself, what is the real cost of ignoring this call? Is the temporary comfort of denial worth losing the peace, joy, and eternal life that Jesus offers? The choice is yours, but remember, the door won't stay open forever. The greatest gift you can receive is just on the other side of that knock. After every long night, a new day breaks, a fresh start full of hope and possibility. No matter how long you have ignored the knock, no matter how many times you have turned away, it is never too late to open the door. Jesus is still standing there, patiently waiting for you to invite him in. This moment right now is a gift, a chance to change the course of your life forever. Opening the door means stepping out of darkness and into light. It means releasing the weight of past mistakes, fears, and regrets, and embracing a future filled with peace, purpose, and unconditional love. You might think you're not ready, or that you don't deserve this kind of grace. But the truth is, none of us are ever truly ready on our own. That's why Jesus knocks, offering to be your strength, your guide, and your constant companion through every challenge and victory. Opening the door to Jesus isn't just a one-time decision, it's the beginning of a lifelong journey. A journey where you grow in faith, hope, and love. A journey where you discover your true identity as a beloved child of God. And a journey where you experience a peace that surpasses all understanding. No matter where you've been, no matter what you've done, Jesus is calling you now. His arms are open wide, ready to welcome you home. So don't wait, don't ignore the knock any longer. Open the door today and step into the life you were meant to live. The life Jesus is ready to give you, full of grace, mercy, and eternal hope. If you truly love Jesus with all your heart, then don't scroll. Like this video to honor him. Subscribe to spread his message. And share this with someone who needs to hear that Jesus is still knocking. Because tomorrow isn't promised, but his love is eternal.